All right, new project going on here. We got this MT85 2017. It was the first year they came out. You know, she's getting up there in age. The undercarriage, that was one of the major problems with these things when they came out, was every freaking roller is greasable. It's not sealed. The dirt debris gets in there, and they're just bronze bushings. So they really don't work that great. People, you have to either be really good at greasing, and they're really a pain, or the MT100 was they went greaseless. Pretty much no way around that. But what they did do is they came out with a retrofit kit for the MT85's to do greaseless rollers underneath. I priced them all out to do the whole machine. It's like $8,000, which still, this is a bought for, paid for machine. Still is a lot of money, but still cheaper than buying a new machine today. I ordered these parts probably 3 weeks ago. They're all in. At this point, I'm just going to do the front and back ones because, again, it's a lot of money to spend all in one shot. So we're going to do the worst ones so far, and we'll see how this goes. I'm the first person at my dealer to do this, and I don't think anybody's even heard of it. Matter of fact, when I first looked into this back in January or February of 22, when I called up our parts guy, who's really good, he had never even heard about it yet. We're like the first test on these things. So we will see how this goes. I guess let's get into it. All right, first order of business here is to get all the mud off this thing. And then we're gonna, look at that, oh, it worked. Nice. Safety arm lock in position. That was fairly easy. That'll get that up and out of my way, and I'll be able to jack it up. Got freaking Randy out there using the loader. It's probably gonna come back broken. Now that I think about it, it's not the Randy you guys know. Just call my brother Randy. You know, Trailer Park Boys stuff. Alright, so here's the boxes I got. Part number 7405 516 idler. I got 4 of them, 4 corners, back, front, other side, back, front. Then I got a box here full of I got seals, bearings, different sorts of pins, hardware, bolts, other weird stuff. That's all got to be put on there. So we got to kind of organize this chaos, and I think we got to assemble these, and then they kind of go onto the machine. It's not like most rollers, idlers, so they're all come together. This is all disassembled. So we got a little bit of work on our hands. All right, let me tell you a little bit where I got the inspiration for this. Basically back in January, and for previous years, I'm thinking, how can we do this better? Because this greased undercarriage system is just not working. There's so many fittings. You got to worry about all the pins and everything else along the lines, but let alone the undercarriage, which is an oddball compared to pretty much anything else on the market. Track loaders, I suppose, excavators, that kind of stuff. All that stuff's sealed. So why it's just not sealed, but that doesn't matter, that part, but how can we rectify it? So over the winter, I went digging, and I got 2, let me just say this before we go any farther, is Bobcat has 2 parts websites. I like to use the Bobcat parts online, not the shop.bobcat.com. You can do parts on this too, but it's a lot harder to find stuff. So, and this gives you a breakdown so you can pick out parts you want. So we did the MT85 here, and my serial number. And what I was looking to do was to see if I could take the undercarriage parts off the MT100 and retrofit it and put it on my MT85. Because if you don't know, the MT85 and the MT100 are identical with the exception of greaseless rollers, counterweights, which maybe I'll put counterweights on this anyway, and then we'll put an MT100 sticker on it, and then it's an MT100. Anyway, while I was doing the research here, so I had an MT85 searched in, and I had the drivetrain track. So I'm comparing the undercarriage just to see, okay, good. If I bought rollers for an MT100, could I bolt them right up to the 85? Well, that's not the case. You can't do that. But in this research, I found this roller and idler greaseless design. So I called the dealer up, and I think we already probably talked about this, but I asked him what's the deal with this, because I've never heard of it. So we dug into it some more, and we're going to try it. What I was really thinking is that I could unbolt this whole piece right here, this undercarriage, and then bolt on the MT100 undercarriage with the new rollers, and that would probably still be cheaper than buying a new machine. So, but instead, we're going to go ahead and try to retrofit what we got. So, let's see. Now that I got my parts here, we got my seals, bearings. We got to get everything together. I think this is right. I hope. So we're going to get, using this breakdown, we're going to try to figure out how this goes together and assemble it. So let's get after it. All right, so here's what we got so far. I got the first one. There's a little bit of like rust in here. I don't know what that's about, but I think it's steel. But anyway, it cleans right up with a rag. So I cleaned that up. And this side here, I got my bearing in. All nice and set in. So what it looks like is going to happen is that that looks like a nice tight fit there. That'll go through at their side, and this is what holds the bearings inside. So the bearing will ride here, and then the snap ring will go on this groove, and that'll keep the bearings inside. Then on top of that, we got the seals that are going to go over top like that. And then we're going to find out how this works. That's what we got so far. All right, got the seals in, snap rings in the center bushing ring. So now I guess we'll call this loaded. Now it's kind of ready to go onto the machine. Now, gotta do this 4 more times. Now that I got one figured out, I should be able to get the other ones done kind of relatively quick, I would think. Probably 10 minutes a piece, which is probably still faster than doing the bushings, pounding bushings out. I'll taking that off, bring it up here, pursing the bushings out, cleaning it up, putting the new bushings back in, and putting it back on. So bearing bushing, I'll take the bearing. Oh, let's get to work. Got my shop rag. I'm gonna do a little quick wipe just to get some of this debris out of here. Okay, like that. Bearing. Bearing. I'm gonna put a little never sees right on this surface here. That's just gonna give me a little bit of lubrication for sliding this bearing in. I don't know if there's a special way to put these bearings in. They seem like they're both the same on both sides, so I'm putting facing numbers out. Goes down there pretty good. I'm just using a socket. That's all I have, and it fits right on the edge. All right, that one's in. Flip it over. All right, that's set. Now, for the bushing, again, I'll probably, you know what, I'll do this. I'll put a little never sees on the inside of these, on the bearings, the inner piece here. So that can go in there nice. Again, I'm not using never sees so it doesn't stick. I'm using never sees so it slides. A little bit of a lubricant, just so they're not dry. Now, before I finish off this side, I'm going to put my snap ring on while it's still out there. All right, groove's exposed on this side. Same thing on this side. Of course, I broke my snap ring tool. I'll have to go to Harbor Freight and buy myself a new one. It's a Craftsman. They're junk. Craftsman, hate it. At least Harbor Freight stuff, you can go to the store and get stuff. You can't even go to Craftsman places around here anymore. Heaven forbid you buy something online. When it breaks, you're just screwed. Now that that's done, seals. 330. Hello. Okay, make sure that's nice and clean. Okay, I need a second seal. What I was doing here is just a little bit of white lithium on that, just so that when because it's an awkward, with this groove here, notch, it's kind of awkward getting it in there. I'm just kind of pushing these on by hand until they're set. And I come back with the old socket, and that's that. So yeah, the reason I'm using the lithium grease, like I said, is because I have to get it basically over this uneven surface. And obviously when you go to set something square on there like that, it's not going to work that great. So little lithium grease, I push it over just until the seal's probably like right about there. And then I run her home with the hammer and socket. So that's number 2 done. And that was only in 8 minutes. I should have another 20 minutes. I should have them all done. I'll be taking the tracks off. So I might be getting this done today. It's still early. I think it's like 1:30. Okay, never mind. 2 o'clock. But either way, this is going pretty good. Knock on wood. Alright, so now we're working on taking the track off here. That's the first step to getting behind these things. So we got this plate here. Had a single bolt in it. That comes out. Toss that out of the way. Now, this cutout here is the size of a socket, which I gotta go figure out which size it is. And then we unscrew it. Track loosens up tension. Alright. Track is off. Now we gotta take these bolts out. Alright, I got the old wheels off. I cleaned everything up, got some garden hose in there. Cleaned all that out. Alright, now that's all cleaned up, we're gonna go back to our box of parts. Got my new roller right here. Let's see how this goes. It's something like this, I guess. And then something like this. Something like that. And then this collar with this bolts. All right, we got that in there. After you gotta put the small rod through one of these that goes from each end. You got a bolt that goes through it, and then this collar here goes over that, and then this bolt goes all the way through this little collar here, and that's how this stays set. Now she rotates. So decent amount of work so far, but we're getting it.
Yeah, look at him. He's cranking.
All right, phase 1 of the Greaseless rollers is complete. That's going to be to the front and rear idler. Those are both done. Track's back on. Everything's tightened up. And we are about 4 hours into this project so far. So about 1 hour per roller. Probably not if you're just doing one. But you still got to take the whole track off to get either one. So I would say it's probably going to be the same in another 4 hours to do the bottom 5. The front 4 are all the same. The back ones are different setup. But yeah, we're looking good. We're going to try these out, and I will let you know how this goes. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Any questions, hit me up in the comments. I will be willing to ask. And like I said, I'm going to probably do the rest of these in the winter. Get this all up to snuff. So, I think a brand new machine. All right, see ya.